Need Pokemon Go PvP coaching? Well, I'm on Metafy, so click the link in the video description. It'll take you right to my page. What's up, guys? It has been a while since I've got to play Master League Premier. Master League Open, I sleep. Master League Premier, I don't know what the opposite of that is, but I'm excited for it. Last time it was up, I didn't get to play it, unfortunately. It was just by a better, I think it was a themed cup, or Halloween cup, or one of the good themed cups. But I actually enjoy the Master Premier meta a lot. The problem is I don't have access to too many Pokemon here, especially the Spice picks. So I've got your classic Metagross, Garchomp, Gyarados, Dragonite, Magnezone, etc. But as far as the newer stuff, like Florges, Walrein, Avalugg, I don't have any of those built. So you guys aren't getting Spice this time around. You guys are getting solid teams. So, back in the day, Metagross and Dragonite was probably the best core, and it wasn't even close in Master League Premier. Then came Excadrill. So unfortunately, because of Excadrill, Dragonite is no longer a great pair with Metagross. Now you want to look at a different dragon damage dealer, and we're looking at Garchomp this time around. This thing can hit Excadrill pretty hard. It doesn't take a ton of damage from any of the charge moves, right? Because none of them are super effective. So it does have some play against it. Gyarados, of course, even with Dragon Breath, has a good matchup versus Excadrill. So your entire backline here, pretty good against Excadrill. Alright, Slark, my cat, moved my camera there. And this double dragon, well, I mean, Gyarados technically not a dragon, but essentially acts as a pseudo dragon here. Forms a pretty formidable team. You're going to see a high level play here where I actually get a call, and while I'm doing the charge move, I'm going to let the person into my building and then go back and hopefully still win this game. Honestly, that's what separates the middle top battlers from the top battlers. Who else is going to pull off a move like that? But yeah, actually don't do that during games that you actually care about winning. Fortunately, because I got the, or I didn't hit any of the bubbles on the first one, I thought they shielded that first Sand Tomb. But they didn't. They didn't shield it at all. So that Earthquake, yeah, it wasn't very calculated. But luckily, still going to make it to that next Earthquake, and that'll be enough to take out this Metagross for sure. I wasn't sure how many bullet punches they got in there while I was all tapped. Anyways, time for some serious battles. Enough messing around and showing my opponent I can kind of do whatever. Let's get into some games. I actually think this team is really good. And actually, the next upcoming video is going to be a little bit of a lesson on how to flip this core around, this Garchomp Metagross core, because I think it's currently maybe one of the best, if not the best core in all of Master League Premier. So, Avalugg. I mentioned this earlier. This is the only Avalugg I ever saw. But unfortunately, this Pokemon has a fantastic matchup versus Gyarados. These Ice Fangs just hit hard. It's got access to Avalanche, which also hits hard. It doesn't really matter what moves Gyarados gets to. Just not able to take down this Avalugg in the Zero Shield, which is unfortunate because your goal here is to kind of create an advantage of some sort so that your Metagross and your Garchomp can kind of clean up. Unfortunately, in this case, Gyarados isn't going to be able to do it. Swampert comes in, and we do have Garchomp on Swampert now, and they're not swapping out right away, which is kind of a good sign. Gonna let this go. And then in comes Metagross, and you know what? I'm going to go straight for the Earth Power here and just hope. Just pray that this guy does not shield. Sometimes praying just isn't enough. Yeah, they shield. So, not going to be able to get this win, it looks like. Yeah, and there's no reason they wouldn't shield this one, because now they know there's no reason for me to bait at all. So yeah, I guess I'm just going to play it out. This, honestly, is a little bit closer than you might think. I swap and just hope that I caught a Meteor Mash, which I did, instead of an Earthquake. And then that gives me a little bit of a shot here. Unfortunately, I do have to shield this, and I think this Swampert is at 2 moves, or very close. So I have to throw this Earthquake right away. And now it's a race to the Meteor Mash against their Metagross. But yeah, they're going to win that race because I was literally energy dry. And my Metagross, if you look at those IVs, is not going to be winning CMP against any other Metagrosses here. So I kind of realized I hooped myself there. I wouldn't recommend building a Metagross like this, but I had already built it for raids before PvP was a thing. So that's why I'm currently using it. I would wait until you get something with 15 attack or the Hundo or something. Haxorus lead, we got 2 answers for that in the back. In comes Gyarados, and Gyarados versus Gyarados. I mean, if they swap a Gyarados into your Gyarados, you're going to win that matchup because you have that slight energy advantage, and you're going to win it even harder if you get that defense drop. Unfortunately, the defense drop doesn't actually make your Dragon Breath do more damage in the Hundo Mirror match. Like, look, they're both doing the same amount of damage. Or at least to me it looks like it. So I'm just going to throw the Aqua Tail, take it out, and that's really all I want right now. With Switch, you can pretty much take on any team at this point. Excadrill's kind of tough, but that's about it. Of course, it's a little bit rough that Haxorus does get that energy advantage, but there we go. There's the Excadrill. There's the Haxorus. This is pretty tough. I'm actually surprised that they swapped out at all because it's way better for them to have that Excadrill on the Metagross. But you know what? I'll take it. I'm going to shield the first move. We'll see if I have to shield another one. Yeah, I'm just going to try and farm this thing down at this point. And the big benefit of Garchomp here running the double ground moveset here is that Sand Tomb is extremely useful if you can get them down to 1 Pokemon remaining. So I'm going to shield this one up because I know I'll be able to get a Sand Tomb off. And the Sand Tomb with the Dragon Tails is insane, but also you can end up bullet punching stuff down. Like, look how much damage that does. That's 3 Dragon Tails are going to take out this Haxorus. I mean, it's going to get to a move, but that third one would have definitely taken it out. And then we do have Metagross here. Yeah, it's not close. It's not close. But yeah, I didn't talk about movesets. Metagross standard. Gyarados running Dragon Breath to kind of bait out the fairies and other things that might resist Dragon. And then Garchomp is there in the back with Dragon Tail, which I much prefer over Mudshot. It just puts out so much pressure. The double ground moveset at first was just me saving a TM from TMing off a legacy move, but I really, really actually enjoy that double ground moveset. It's come in handy a lot. There's a lot of steel types in this meta, and Dragon Tail puts enough pressure out by itself on things like Dragonite and other dragons. So, anyways, Gyarados versus Gyarados matchup here. Once again, they throw their move first, and then they're going to let me get to this crunch. They actually shield the first move. But if they shield the first move, I still get to this move on time, and I'm going to take them out. So, my Gyarados just won shield and switch advantage versus their Gyarados. That's a pretty good sign. I'm going to bring the Metagross back in to the Snorlax this time. Because obviously I switched out for a reason there. And yeah, Snorlax is kind of just really dangerous when it is able to lick down on the Metagross and transfer that damage to something else. In this case, it already had some licks, and I can soak up the energy better on Metagross than I can on Garchomp. Either way, we still have this Haxorus, and yeah, it was essentially the same team. Like different Pokemon in the back, but Haxorus into Gyarados. So I've seen that a couple times, not really sure why. But yeah, Snorlax is going to come back in, just going to throw the Sand Tomb. And it's the classic, like Garchomp as a closer is so nice, because these, like once that it's their last Pokemon, they can't clear that debuff anymore. And that makes it so deadly to play against in that end game. And Metagross is good too. Like shields down Metagross, there's not a lot that beats that thing. Like it's actually quite incredible. So if you can force shields down with Gyarados too, you also have a lot of play. Conkeldurr lead. We're going to go straight into the Gyarados here. And in comes the Excadrill. A lot of people think for some reason that Excadrill is a Gyarados counter, even with Dragon Breath, just because it resists the Dragon Breaths. Well, these Aqua Tails, they hit pretty hard, especially if they swap into you. You can actually beat them to the move. So in this case, Gyarados is actually going to be able to win the one shield here. If I wanted to shield. In this case, I don't think I do. They actually farm up quite a bit, which is a little bit scary. And let me get to another Aqua Tail. So I will be able to pry a second shield here. Gyarados winning the... Wait, never mind. They don't shield. Okay. Actually, kind of a smart play by my opponent. They're getting a lot of energy on this Conkeldurr. But my goal here is what I just mentioned. I want to take this thing out. I want to farm it down. And I want to get a Sand Tomb on whatever's in the back. So they're not swapping out, which is kind of playing right into my plan. I don't know why people are just letting me farm down their last Pokemon. It happens a lot, though. And it just plays right into the plan, like I mentioned. And yeah, in comes Metagross. You know what? In this case, we're not going for the Sand Tomb. We have to go for the Nuke. Because if we can get that shield down, then my Metagross can beat it. And yeah, I was going to try and catch a move, but they weren't even there, so it would have been a useless catch. Yeah, I don't know why they let me farm. They let me farm, do some neutral damage to the Conkeldurr, and then hit a super effective Earth Power with that energy on the Metagross. You want to be limiting the super effective damage your opponents do. So it's like when I swap out of the Snorlax leads right away. Okay, Togekiss lead. This is probably the most common lead I saw. Into probably the least common switch I'll ever see. That's an Escavalier. I swap into my Gyarados because I know Gyarados resists all of these moves. Even though Escavalier also resists Dragon Breath, Aqua Tail does quite a bit of damage. And it's the one move that Gyarados does not resist. Aerial Ace. Luckily, Aerial Ace is a joke of a move. Look how much damage that did. That did almost nothing. Gyarados is going to be able to just farm this thing down at this point. And I mean, it can't really do too much damage to Togekiss. But better than nothing. And yeah, the only damage it needed to do was the mental damage there. The, not mental damage. The damage to the psyche. The confidence was damaged there. And my opponent just leaves. Primarina, yeah, new addition to as well that I forgot to mention. This is a Charmer that just completely walls Gyarados. Very interesting. They come with the Conkeldurr, and I don't know why I didn't go in with Garchomp here. That was pretty dumb. I was thinking, Gyarados is so bad against Primarina, I'm just going to bring my Gyarados into this Conkeldurr instead. But it's not like Garchomp does very well against any of these fairies, so I think this was probably the wrong choice. Either way, I really did want to keep Switch here. Well, I mean, yeah, I can't have Primarina on Garchomp, and they actually fight for Switch, so it looks like, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go down 2 shields to 1. It's not an ideal world, but I know Metagross can handle the Primarina with no shields, and it's just really about what's in the back. And yeah, look at, there's nothing I can do here. Actually, probably could have gone for the second Aqua. It would have been close. It depends if the game worked properly or not, which is kind of a coin flip regardless. But yeah, that crunch does almost nothing. Everything is resisted that Gyarados can possibly throw, I think, at Primarina. But either way, we're going to go back in with the Metagross. They're going to swap into Excadrill, and that's not what you want to see right now. With a shield up, this Excadrill kind of just wrecks the entire team. I'm going to throw the Sand Tomb out regardless, and just hope that I get to the second one. But I think 2 drill runs is enough to take out Garchomp at this point. So yeah. This does not look like it's going so hot. I don't even know why I stayed in this game. I guess I just want to see how much damage everything does. So we're going to try out Metagross. I've not actually been hit by Drill Run yet on this Metagross, so it's a good learning experience. It's not about how you get knocked down. It's about how you get back up or something. I don't know. But yeah, nothing's getting back up after this one. And the Primarina is able to charm down the Metagross. Very sad ending too. Yeah, Primarina, very interesting. I don't think it's a very good Pokemon. Maybe when it gets Hydro Cannon. But resisting Steel is kind of nice for Master League, with Metagross being that one real Steel-type damage. Swampert Lead, this is awful, of course, but we've got Gyarados for this. We've got Garchomp for this. And in comes Walrein. So this is the first time I've seen Walrein as well. I didn't really expect it to make a big splash in Master League. Its CP is a little bit low. Like, we're looking at 2,700 there. Whereas even Gyarados is much higher. So it is kind of, even though it has that great moveset, it's kind of hampered by the fact that it doesn't really have the stats to back it up. So these Icicle Spears that kind of tickle. And Gyarados is going to be able to get to another crunch here before they're able to get to a move. Or their third move. So the second crunch should take out. And just like that, Gyarados is one switchback. We have Machamp in the back. This player going for the 3 lowest CP Pokemon that are viable in all of Master League. But with Machamp taking out this Gyarados, it's kind of all she wrote here. Going to be able to put the Metagross on the Machamp, which is an okay matchup. Like, it's definitely not bad for Metagross, unless this Machamp has payback and I don't shield. But Garchomp should definitely be able to handle... Sorry. Definitely should be able to handle lead. Water all over myself. And yeah, this one should be pretty much over here. Swampert versus Garchomp is pretty neutral. I mean, Garchomp just outstats it. Look at this CP difference. It's 1,000 higher CP. And Dragon Tail's a pretty good move. It's not, like, Swampert is a great moveset too, but especially with shields up, this one is all but over. And yeah, once again, Sand Tomb coming in very handy on these Pokemon at the back with nowhere to go. So yeah, Garchomp just gonna be able to take this thing down. I don't know why I didn't shield that last one. I was just maybe hoping that they would just not throw moves anymore, but yeah, we'll be able to take that down. No problem. Garchomp could have tanked another Hydro Cannon, I think, too, so. It's just if it was like an Earthquake or something like that. I'm not sure what most Swamperts actually run. I might guess Earthquake, but you kind of want Sludge Wave for things like the Flyers here. I don't know, like Dragonite. Okay, either way, Snorlax comes in. Bit of a slow swap. That's my fault. In hindsight, I will swap much faster to Garchomp next time. This matchup is good. This was with an energy advantage from the Snorlax. Just look how this goes. I go straight for the Earth Power. If they let it through, easy switch win. If they shield it, so this is worst case scenario, the shield. And now I'm up a shield. So then they throw their move again. Body Slam. Kind of hurts. And they get to another one. So you know what? We don't mind shielding one. Because now we're even shields. And then you can just throw Sand Tube. So it's a very comfortable match up. Even if they call all your baits. In this case, they shield my Sand Tube for some reason. And then I'm able to just farm them down. So Garchomp wins switch and shields. In that matchup. Like, it could have just been even. And Garchomp could have ended with a quite a bit less farm. Because I kind of messed up and threw that Sand Tube there. But it just works out pretty well. Okay, Metagross. This is another one we're going to switch out of. Garchomp doesn't have the greatest matchup without Mudshot, but it is what it is. Gyarados is still pretty good here with Dragon Breath. It's a pretty solid matchup. I think there is a chance that Metagross, if it is the switch, will win the Zero Shield. But if Gyarados switches in right away, I think Gyarados actually wins this one. So they're going to swap out into their Dragonite. I'll go for the Crunch here. This Gyarados is just doing so much work. When someone stays in with their Metagross against Gyarados, it's just... it's sad. It's sad for them. In this case, Dragonite. So you see the old Dragonite Metagross core come out here. That was the other thing that kind of became way more prevalent was Gyarados started becoming more of a thing. Especially Dragon Breath Gyarados is a Pokemon that can beat both of those Pokemon as well. It still does beat Metagross and Garchomp as well. But I mean, like the matchup like I said, versus Metagross is not too bad. Versus Garchomp, it's not too bad. Same with Dragonite. Like they're pretty close. They just have more stats. As simple as it is. It's not like Great League or Ultra League where it's all about your moveset. In Master League, it's just about CP for the most part. So either way, gonna be able to take down this Metagross. There's a bunch of lag there. Who knows even what happened. But that's state of the game. That's state of the game, right? So that's another 4 wins. That's 8 out of 10 wins, which is pretty solid considering I haven't played this league in probably half a year or something like that. So it's been fun though. This league, I do like the meta. I'm not sure how much longer I will enjoy the meta for because it is a really small one for sure. But they do keep adding on new Pokemon like Florges, which I don't think you guys saw in this video. You'll see in the next one, I think. Very good Pokemon. I think it's ranked number 2 on PvPoke. But yeah, this team, super fun, pretty good. And huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. Could not have made this team without you guys, without your support. I probably, who knows, maybe wouldn't even be playing right now. But I digress. We keep trucking on. And here is kind of your basic double dragon team here. I really think Garchomp's kind of just replaced Gyarados as that dragon you want to pair with Metagross. And in the next video, I'll show you guys how to flip a core. I know everyone's always like, oh, I've been seeing so many of these leads, so I just changed my lead around. You can't just change your lead in a team. You can't just be like, okay, well, Garchomp's the lead now, and we have Gyarados as the swap for Metagross. What if you lead into a fairy? You're done. You're done. So I'm going to talk about how to flip teams around. If you want to change your lead, you can't just take your back Pokemon, make it a lead. You got to switch the switch around too. Right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the next video. with an example team, which I think is it's a little bit of a throwback to kind of probably the best old team in Master League Premier. Either way, everyone else, thank you so much for watching.